Hello friends, Pastor Casey Taylor of Beulah Church, a United Methodist congregation in Sumner, Illinois, with another message in a minute. You might be familiar with the story of a prophet in the Old Testament named Jonah. If you have a children's Bible or went to children's Sunday school, you've probably heard this story. And if you ask most people what they know about the story of Jonah, they'll tell you, well, Jonah was the guy that got swallowed up by the big fish or the great whale. And in fact, if you look in a children's Bible, there's not a whole lot more to his story than that, but his story is actually much more complex and interesting than that, even though it's only 4 chapters long in the Bible. Jonah is called by God to go to the city of Nineveh, the capital of the ancient empire of Assyria. Jonah runs away from this calling. That's how he ends up in a storm out at sea, and then he's in the belly of the great fish. And he calls out to God for mercy while he's in the belly of the fish. God has mercy on him. God calls him again to go back to Nineveh and preach a message to them. And the message is simple. It's, look, in 40 days, your city's doomed. Now, the people don't know anything about God, but the story is really interesting here because they say, in effect, look, we don't know anything about this God, but hey, he might be a God who shows mercy to people if they repent of their evil. So let's all repent of our violence and our evil ways, and maybe he'll have mercy on us. And lo and behold, God does have mercy on the people of Nineveh. That's still not where the story ends. The story goes on to tell us that Jonah is very angry about this. In fact, he knows God is a God who is merciful and compassionate, slow to anger, and likes to forgive people. And he tells God, this is the reason I ran away, because I know that about you. Implying that Jonah did not want the people of Nineveh to experience God's mercy. Jonah had lost any concern for what we might call spiritually lost people. And Jonah's story compels us today, compels Christian people today to ask the question, do we have concern for spiritually lost people? Do we have a heart of mercy for people, the same mercy that God has for people? When we say spiritually lost people, we don't mean anything disrespectful. We don't mean to say that people are unintelligent or that they aren't successful in the way the world normally measures success. Rather, as Christ followers, we mean that they are not living out of a life that is deeply rooted in Jesus Christ, where they're putting all of their trust and hope in Him and looking to Him for guidance. Do we have a heart for spiritually lost people? Or like Jonah, have we allowed our hearts to grow hard? This has been another Message in a Minute from Beulah Church.